What do you want for dinner tonight? What do you want to watch? What do you want to do this weekend? Do you ever feel exhausted by making decisions? Hi, I'm John Beeson, and welcome to the Beehive. I'm so glad you're with us. More than a few times, Angel and I have come home from a hard day's work. We've looked at each other and said, would you please make a decision about what we're going to eat for dinner? Researchers note that by the time the average person goes to bed, they've made over 35,000 decisions. And all of those decisions take time and energy. In a recent study on the impact of decision-making published by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers found that the more choices a person made, the more likely they were to give up, lose willpower, and struggle with endurance. Choice making is core to who we are in the contemporary West. We wouldn't dare give up our ability to choose our spouses, careers, homes, how many children we have. And yet, choice drains us. Netflix has thousands of shows available, but they've realized that the most important thing they can do is curate for their viewer just the right next show for them to watch. It's been estimated that Netflix spends over $150 million annually on their personalized recommendation system. Why would they spend that much to funnel their viewers' choice to a few shows? Because it's estimated that they keep over $1 billion in annual revenue with that investment. Every leader wants to be the type of leader Jesus was, a servant leader. Take a look at the myriad of books or articles on servant leadership, and you will find an emphasis on empowering team members, collaboration. Who doesn't want to work for a boss who parks in the farthest parking spot and picks up trash on his way in? Every godly boss desires to have their employees know and care for them and ensures they have a voice at the table. Recently, I was listening to yet another podcast on servant leadership. I nodded in agreement as the speaker shared common principles, and then he stopped me in my tracks. Let me say something that might surprise you. One of the most important ways a leader can serve the organization is by making decisions, he said. Everyone wants to have a voice, but one of the best ways to be a servant leader is to make the hard decisions. I sat on those words for weeks. We are in a particularly heavy decision-making season here at New Life. We're launching a new campus, we're bringing on new staff, we're making renovations on our property, and shepherding through some hard discipline issues. More than a few times, I felt tapped out on the decision-making front. But a leader has to love their people enough to make decisions. I'm blessed to serve alongside my co-lead pastor, who is a fast decision maker. My tendency can be to find a decision to death, to research, to pull in more voices in the organization. In all of that, sometimes I'm putting off what I need to do as a leader, make a decision. And to not make a decision, of course, is to make a decision. Hard decisions are hard for a reason. People disagree, sometimes strongly. If you've listened well and dug deep, you might be able to resolve some of their disagreement, but you might not be able to. The best way you can serve the organization is not by deflecting the decision to others, but to take ownership and move forward. Everyone wants to make the decision until it's their responsibility. When my dad was a child, they got their first dog. A heated conversation around the dining room table ensued on who got to name the dog and what that name would be. My dad, in his 5-year-old self, drowned out by his 3 siblings, said he had a name for the dog. Unheard, he raised his voice louder. "I have a name!" The family hushed. "Okay," my grandfather responded. "What is it?" Surprised he had the spotlight, my dad froze. He didn't actually have an idea for a name. "Put your finger up," he sputtered. Fortunately, my grandparents had the wisdom not to name their dog Put Your Finger Up. Her name would be Taffy. Servant leaders listen. Servant leaders collaborate. Servant leaders empower. But at the end of the day, one of the most loving things servant leaders can do is make decisions.